Rip stream. Oh fuck! What is? Why is it? Is it? The Wi-Fi is doing that sometimes. I thought they had Oh, it's Lawfare that has this. Yeah, in Wisconsin, I don't know what that. I think they've been. Yeah, they've been. Oh, December 12th. Is it live stream? Can we watch him get fucking? I don't know what would the first thing they do in court be? Appearance in court? Like what? Like what are they? Is that just to have the is that to have the fucking arraignment or whatever? Or is that like actually gonna be prosecuting them? I should have this in Zotero, I guess. Or Zotero is just gone, I guess. Okay. Don't know what that was about, but alright. Fire. Oh, I'm streaming. Wait, did it crash again? What is happening? Why does it just do this sometimes? Kill me, man. You're up now? Well, it's gonna, it's gonna crash again and... 5 minutes. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. It won't last too long, okay? I think we're on page, like, 460 or something. Oh, I got it exactly right. I'm a genius. Eastman theory was, in the words of the President Trump's senior White House and campaign officials, insane, crazy, nutty, and it would never practically work. Eric Hirschman, an attorney working for President Trump in the White House, met with Eastman to discuss his memo. Hirschman thought Eastman's plan was crazy. Hirschman summarized a conversation to the select committee. And I said to him, hold on a second, I want you to understand what you're saying. You're saying you believe the vice president, acting as the president of the Senate, can be the sole decision maker to, under your theory, who becomes the next president of the United States? And he said yes. And I said, you're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your fucking mind, right? And that was pretty blunt. I said, you're completely crazy. You're going to turn around and tell 78 plus million people in the country that your theory is how you're going to invalidate their votes because you think the election was stolen. I said, they're not going to tolerate that. I said, you're going to cause riots in the streets. And he said, words to the effect that there's been violence in the history of our country to protect democracy or to protect the republic. Dude, I can't handle too much winning. Trump and the right wing have been taking so many wins. I mean, they won the election. That was the big thing. What do you mean by so many wins other than that? They didn't even do particularly well in the House. They lost seats in the House, right, actually. They lost like one seat, yeah. Met with Eastman to discuss this memo. What's up?
Breaking news: the moving sofa math problem has been solved. I don't know if you know
Really?
about it.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
moving the sofa through the corner thing.
yeah, it's been solved.
Has
I
it?
thought they would never, but they would never be able to, but they did. It's interesting. The answer is like 2.21 or something, and like yeah, 2.2195 and so on.
How do they
Yeah,
solve it?
interesting. Interesting. Some Korean mathematician. I can read the proof. It's like on archive, but I'm not reading that.
I'm not gonna.
But it's an 18 like it's like an 18 curve section or something.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, interesting. Well, I don't know. Just thought that was exciting. One day they will prove the Riemann hypothesis in my lifetime. Okay, they'll do it. They'll do it.
The
They're
what
gonna do it any
hypothesis?
day. The Riemann hypothesis.
I don't know what that is, man.
That's like the most important open math question. It's like, well, it's kind of technical, but it has a lot of important consequences. And there's another problem called P equals NP. I don't expect them to solve that one in my lifetime, but maybe they will. But yeah, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Also, soon it's going to be 2025. That's going to be a square year. Okay,
Wow.
2025 is a square number. Okay, so yeah, a lot of exciting stuff. A lot of
That's super exciting
are
to
you
you.
not
The fact that
excited?
we're gonna have a square year.
Yeah, not only that. Wait, yeah, not only that, we're also gonna have a year that is a power of two in my lifetime. Okay. Yeah.
Incredible, groundbreaking stuff here.
It is. It is. 2 to the power of 11. Is it not exciting? 2048. It's not exciting.
Uh, Honestly, I think the moving sofa problem is more exciting, and the moving sofa problem is already kind of a dumb thing to be excited about. But
Okay. Speaking to low IQ individuals, low human capital specimen.
listen,
Okay.
nothing's gonna cheer me up from the Krugman retiring. Okay, there's nothing.
Right. That's my 911. That's my 911. Never. Yeah. 911 are both prime. Well, no, 9 is not a prime. I'm retarded. Whatever.
Nice one.
Whatever. You know, what's more sad? The fact that Krugman is retiring or the fact that 57 is not a prime number?
Um, is 57 not a prime number? What are the
No.
factors?
7 times 13. Or not, not,
Oh,
not 7, not 7. What, it is, I think it's 3 times 13, I think? Where's the thing? No, wait. 14 times 3. No. 17 times 3. No. 13 times 7. No. So what am I thinking about? It is not a prime number. Wait, give me a second. I'm dumb. I'm so dumb. Give me a second. Yeah, 3 times 19, not 17. Okay. I was
okay. Three
mixing everything
19.
up. Yeah, 3 times 19. Okay. Calm down. I'm not dumb. I can do division. Okay? Shut up. But yeah, you sum the digits. You see it's 12, and 12 is divisible by 13, so it's divisible by 3. But yeah. Either way, just wanted to let you know the sofa problem has been solved. I never expected it to be solved, but it was. So that's cool, and that's awesome. And bye bye.
All right. Can I open 2 of the same things in Zotero? So I can have... Yes, I can. I need to have one for the citations. I can't click on them. God damn it. I don't think I mean, I can't click on them usually, but... Oh, no way, the Day Right Stuff guy. So funny. It's so funny to me that he's fucking in this report, man. I had no clue he actually held power before. He was still, like, personnel officer, dude. Actually, you know what? Has he been nominated or anything yet? Personnel job fell to then 29-year-old John McEntry. McEntry was fired by Chief of Staff John Kelly for failing a background check, only to be rehired by Trump himself. Based. Okay, that's new information to me as well. Fits this guy's character. So, but he's not I don't think he's named a person yet. It said a different person was the front runner. So, I don't know. I don't know if he'll get it again. But last time he was in charge of like the personnel, he was like, I forget the exact thing. Be real funny if he got it again, considering he's literally an author of Project 2025, and he would be hiring everyone for Trump, which he'd probably hire more Project 2025 people, which is real cool and awesome and fire. I love this country. Oh wait, I'm going down on this one. Project 2025 is so fucking base. Is it though? I don't know if I like unitary executive theory. I don't know if I don't know. I think I might like some checks and balances. Hearing 117 Congress, second session, June 26th. Why is it not? What? Is it not the hearings? Hold on, I'm looking for 66, right? Oh, wait, no, I'm dumb. 45. Why did I think I was looking for 66? Select committee to investigate the January 6th incident. Wait, I still can't actually... I don't know if I'll need that later, but I can't find it. It's a June 26th hearing, did it not? But that's not on here. Select committee to investigate a January 6th attack. Transcribed interviewer Eric Hirschman. Page 26. Maybe it's going to sound kind of radical, but I want to see Israel get vaporized. Yeah, I'd say that's a relatively radical position. I say let them fight it out on it. That's what they've been doing. What do you mean? Oh, I guess they did get a ceasefire of Hezbollah. Like, stop intervening? We're barely intervening. Alright, so no, we're not barely intervening. It's just that our intervention only got like 6 weeks ceasefire in Gaza a while ago, and we did get the Hezbollah ceasefire. Is that still holding up? Are they still following that? Did that fall apart yet? As recounted by Hirschman, Eastman was shockingly unconcerned with the prospect of violence should the vice president follow his and President Trump's recommended course. Hirschman asked a straightforward question. If the states wanted to recertify their electors, why weren't they doing it themselves? Why aren't they coming into session and saying we want to change their state? We want to change the states, and why do we need the VP to go down this path? Eastman had no response. In addition to being crazy, Hirschman didn't think there was any chance in the world that Eastman's plan could work. Hirschman, I'll say Eastman was unconcerned about the potential for violence. If Pence overturned the election. Hirschman pressed Eastman further, asking why the states weren't already recertifying their electors. Eastman had no response. But what day is this? Was this after that they knew that none of the states were going to certify their electors? Because eventually they were trying to pull strings to get states to certify their alternate slate. 46. Just page 28 of the same thing. Hirschman pressed Eastman further, asking if he had any precedent at all for the VP or anyone acting in the capacity as the president of the Senate declaring the statute invalid. Eastman replied no, but argued that these are unprecedented times, and Hirschman was unimpressed, calling this a ridiculous answer. Thank you, Casey, for the raid. I appreciate it. Welcome, Raiders. Thank you, Casey. I appreciate it very much. I big talked up your stream. You got fucking unlucky, bro. We're just reading. Should have. Have you tried Marvel Rivals? Yeah, I played the beta, and I just played the. Wait, Isaac, were you watching Casey over me? What the fuck? Did you just come in from the raid, or? Yeah, I played Marvel Rivals during the beta, and I played a few games last night. It was fun. Playing right now, it's sick. Yeah, I like it. It's like Overwatch, but it was good. No, I swear. No, I see on Twitch chat now. It doesn't say that you're from the Raiders. Okay, so you're good. Most entertaining econ stream on Twitch. Well, I appreciate that, Casey. No, we most of the stuff on econ I'm done with for now because I did all the big tariff debates I want to do with everyone. There's still like one book we have to read. Probably not all of it. We're still trying to. Wait, I don't need a fucking book launch thing here. But we're sidetracked. Okay, Churchman. Press further. Asking if Eastman had any president at all for anyone acting in the capacity of the president of the Senate declaring the statute invalid. Eastman replied no, but argued these are unprecedented times. What page is that? 48 to like 50. I'm assuming it's all the same thing. Yeah, it's just on page. Said if your theory is correct, why aren't they doing it now? That's why I was convinced in the real world. It's a practical application. I thought if the VP understood it. Blah, 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 blah. I said, do you have any president at all for the VP? Or anyone acting in the capacity as the president of the Senate declaring some statute invalid? And he goes like, no, but these are unprecedented times. And I thought that was a ridiculous answer. White House counsel Pasquale Anthony Pat. How do you pronounce this? What the fuck? Thought the Eastman plan was nutty. Trump campaign official Jason Miller testified that the campaign's general counsel Matt Morgan and deputy campaign manager Justin Clark thought Eastman was crazy, understood that there was no validity in his theory in any way, shape, and form, and shared their views with anyone who would listen. Many more. Much of the White House staff, or much of, let's say, Trump's staff. Is White House capitalized? I do, right? Yeah. White House staff. Agreed. Churchman. This bitch thought the plan was nutty. 51. Thank you for the follow, Hackstar 942. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate it. Thank you, Paige. 157. Will it load? Actually, technically, I don't need it to load. I just need to copy the link, but I want to read more of it. Trump campaign official Jason Miller testified that the campaign's general counsel Matt Morgan and deputy campaign manager Justin Clark thought Eastman was crazy. The campaign. Assuming it's Trump's, right? Well, agreed, Eastman was crazy. Or argued there was no validity in his theory in any way, shape, or form, and they shared their views with anyone who would listen. Thought the idea was nutty, and at one point confronted Eastman basically with the same sentiment. I'll add and confronted Eastman about it. Page 152. To whom I think anyone who would listen to Duke President, which if we could say he was raised, I'm not a lawyer. I certainly can't speak to the Electoral Count Act or anything of the nature, but it seems highly improbable the vice president had such powers or authorities. If there was an additional example or are additional examples of fraud and irregularities, they need to be debated and shared with people. Then those breakout sessions would be a good opportunity, but since the fact he didn't have the majority of both houses, ultimately wouldn't go anywhere. The vice president's conclusion that he did not have the ability to affect the presidential outcome. The vice president's conclusion, they're missing like was that it did not have the ability to affect the outcome of the election. Vice President concluded he did not have the power to alter the outcome of the election. Did I capitalize every... No. The Vice President Pence's counsel, Greg Jacobs, was simultaneously researching the role of the Vice President during the joint session. The Office of the Vice President produced a preliminary staff memo on the subject on October 26, 2020. Jacob then discussed the matter with Mark Short on Election Day or the day before. I don't think I've seen the October 26th memo before. I've seen the memo from January 5th, 53. No, that's not what I... Why doesn't it? Usually it has just like the thing that actually has still the fucking PDF stored in it. Electoral conference across the process to the extent constitutional. Seems to allow for the possibility of Vice President asserting blah 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 blah. Documents and files select committee to investigate the January 6th attack. There was extensive research analysis, Greg Jacobs' understanding developed, both as the legal and historical president for the joint session, and ultimately led to him to the unavoidable conclusions that one, the electoral conduct governed the joint session, and two, its procedures had never deviated from it since it was passed. Is this not public? Should I not be able to look this up just like I can look all this other stuff up? A lot of times you can just, like, does it work with this? If I just, like, type this into Google, like, it'll come up with the... Here, if I type like this into Google, it'll come up with this. And like I just click the PDF. Can I not do that with this? Greg Jacobs, October 26th memo, 16th, 26th memo. Here it is. This is December 8th. Did it not say? It said October 26th. This is the second memo. Okay, fuck you. Okay. Okay. The VP's legal counsel, Greg Jacobs, will simultaneously research and enroll the vice president during the joint session. Spend time researching the role of the vice president. In the joint session. I'll just say VP because I abbreviated it earlier, don't care. Producing a preliminary staff memo on a subject on October 26, 2020. Jacob also discussed the matter with Mark Short on election day or the day before. Why do we? I guess it's probably just someone's testimony. They didn't remember the exact day. This wasn't the first time Jacob would be required to write a memo about the vice president's role in the electoral process. Before the election, Short explained to him that some of the whiteouts were encouraging the vice president to prematurely declare victory on election night. Of course, that is exactly what President Trump did. Jacob and Short wanted to avoid the vice president getting drawn into too much declarations, or into any such declarations, and Jacob pointed to the role in presiding over the counting of the electoral vote on January 6th as a reason not to. Jacob sent a memo to Short on election day reflecting the said advice. Why can't I? Okay, flag that. To say, Jacob pointed to his role. Jacob sent a memo to his short elected day reflecting his advice. Also sent a memo to short election day advising Pence not to side with Trump. Declaring victory early. Or I shouldn't say just side with Trump. Not to take a side. Not to. Then on December 7th, 2020, the Lincoln Project aired a provocative ad taunting President Trump, saying the Vice President will put the nail in your political coffin. During the joint session on January 6th, this prompted a discussion between Jacob and Vice President Pence. Jacob authored a memo dated December 8th, 2020. Jacob continued researching the Vice President's role during the joint session into early January. Jacob told a select committee that that his view of the matter was not fully formed until then. Okay. The Lincoln Project aired a provocative ad declaring Pence will put the nail in your political coffin. Provocative ad taunting Trump. Pence will put the nail in your political coffin on January 6th. This prompted more discussion. Between Pence and Jacobs. This is the 8th memo. Counting of votes. The Electoral College will occur on January 6th. Blah, 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 blah. As the President of the Senate, it is clear the sitting Vice President plays a prominent role in the counting of electoral votes, including resolving objections to his votes. There is disagreement, however, whether the text of the 12th Amendment privileges the Vice President to play a decisive role in resolving objections to the electoral votes on their merits, or whether, pursuant to the Electoral Conduct, the role of the Vice President in resolving disputes is largely ministerial. I forget how you pronounce this.
Ministerial.
Absent an assertion of constitutional privilege by the Vice President, the parliamentarian will follow the process that is prescribed by the Electoral Conduct, which is described in a section below. Jacobs producing another memo on December 8th. Jacob continued researching the Vice President's role in early January. Jacob told the Select Committee that his view of the matter was not fully formed until then. Jacob continued to do more research on the issue. and stated his view was not fully formed until early January. My condolences for what? So that's where the vice president started. That's where he stayed the entire way. Particularly, we got no one meeting with Mr. Eastman. I felt at the time that I advised the vice president, even by December 8th, as I talked about. I gathered what my staff had given to me at that point in time. I came to my own view of things. I put in that memo, but I still hadn't read every single page of congressional points I had this point in time. Or I had by this point in time. So I had to run down every legal trail that existed, every law article review. If it existed, I read it because it was too important. We had to get this right, and we had to be airtight. So I was coming out of a meeting with Mr. Eastman on the 4th, and even on the 5th. My role was to make sure, for those who were asserting that we did have such authority, that they could never say we had failed to look into something. Wait, this is him. Hold on, the wording here was confusing. Jacob continued researching the vice president's role during the joint session into early January. Jacob told the Senate committee that his view of the matter was not fully formed until then. Until then being December 8th, or until then being early January? Because here he says, on December 8th, separate from your discussion with DOJ, was there ever serious consideration the vice president had the authority to reject certain points during a joint session on 6? So the vice president's first instinct on this, as I said, was that there was no way that in person the framers, blah, 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 blah. So the vice president started, and that's where he stayed the entire way. I felt by the time I had advised the vice president, even by December 8th, as I talked about, I gathered things. My staff had written. At a point in time, I came to my own view of things, put that in a memo, but I still hadn't read every single congressional reports. So I was coming out of it, blah, blah, blah. We feel look at the thing. So we were firmly interviewed. The vice president didn't have that authority. You could, when you use the term, vague term consider, I viewed it as my job to make sure we had looked at everything. So I was going to look at it. If there was those who thought it was some argument for that position, I was going to look at it. But I felt pretty firm in the view that I was going to come out with one of those things. And in fact, there were no materials. New materials were actually presented to me by Mr. Eastman. Everything was that I was already aware of and determined could not lead to that conclusion. Okay, could not lead one to that conclusion. Jacob did extensive research on historical analysis of both the Electoral Count Act of 1887, sorry, and the 12th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. The 12th Amendment contains a single relevant line. Jacobs did extensive research on the ECA and the 12th Amendment. 12th Amendment contains the relevant line. The President of the Senate shall, in the presence of the House, or in the presence of the Senate and House of Representatives, open all certificates, and the vote shall then be counted. So now I thought, okay. Though Jacob concluded his line was inartfully drafted, it said nothing about resolving disputes over electoral votes. Jacob's concluded. Here, I think I'll put it there. This line was inartfully drafted. And said nothing about resolving disputes over electoral votes. Jacob concluded the Vice President must adhere to the Electoral Count Act. The ECA have been followed for 130 years, and every single time that there are any objections to the electors, it has been resolved in accordance with the Electoral Count Act procedures, Jacob testified. Also concluded. Pence must adhere to the ECA. Jacobs testified that the ECA had been adhered to for 130 years. And that every single time there's been any objection to the electors, it has been resolved in accordance with the electoral Count Act procedures. $64. Wait, deposition? I was already on that. Fuck. Don't recall specifically addressing rejecting electors. The memo did address the question of whether Vice President's role in resolving objections that are raised, and essentially looking back, you have 100 years or almost 100 years of history leading up to the Electoral Count Act, where from time to time disputes had arisen, and they've been handled in ad hoc ways, where sometimes the Vice President or the President of the Senate, the Vice Presidency, was vacant for a lot of those first 100 years, and so frequently was the President Pro Tempore of the Senate was sitting chair. One good example of that is 1857, when in Wisconsin there had been a blizzard, so the Constitution specifies all the electoral votes are supposed to be cast on the same day and on a day set by federal law, and that day had been set by federal law. Well, a big blizzard happened in Wisconsin, and the electors couldn't meet in Wisconsin on that day, so they cast their vote, I believe it was the next day, and somebody raised an objection to that. It wasn't an outcome-determinative situation, so it wasn't highly politically pressured, but there was a big discussion in Congress at that point in time. What the role of the President and Senate in resolving that objection? And nobody was really satisfied with how it worked out. The people essentially withdrew their objection and moved along, and so there was a number of historical examples like that. And I said if that's all you had, there'd be some ambiguity. But then you have the Electoral Count Act that comes around in 1887. And from that point on, everyone had resorted to the Electoral Count Act and followed its procedures every time an objection has been raised. At first, I thought it was a possibility of one exception to that, which was the 1960 situation, 1960 Nixon situation, because he had two slates in Hawaii back to 1876 was the first time you really had two slates presented. That created the constitutional crisis that resulted in the Electoral Count Act. But in 1960, you had a Republican state certified. You had a Republican state slate certified by the outgoing governor of Hawaii. You then had a judicially ordered recount, and then after that, I believe it was December 14th. So after what we think it was the safe harbor date, and when the first votes were supposed to be counted, you had a Democratic slate certified by the incoming Democratic governor pursuant to the terms of the recount. Thank God you were doing the important work of fixating on January 6th, the most important. Yeah, thanks, localist. And Nixon, I'm going to go back to Hawaii. In a vote count, was sort of magnanimously said that he had personally looked into the circumstance of what happened in Hawaii, and he was satisfied with Democratic slate for Kennedy. That was the correct one. And he asked the chamber, are there any objections to that? So were there any objections? There were none. Okay. And that was the critically important, to my mind, putting in a category of not an exception to the electoral count, because if you have alternate slates, it's supposed to trigger an automatic debate where you split into House and Senate, and there is because you didn't have it's alternate slates, both certified by a state authority, outgoing governor, incoming governor, similar to 1876, where that had happened. At least one of three states where you had alternate slates. But they did do the breaking apart. But ultimately, I'm unsatisfied with myself at the Nixon example because he had asked for objections and nobody objected to it. It was actually consistent with what the Electoral Count Act. The Electoral Count Act says the Vice President or President Senate shall call for objections. There being no objections stated to this proposed resolution, it was consistent with the Electoral Count Act, and thus what you have is 130 years. Every single time there has been any objection to the electors, it has been resolved in accordance with the Electoral Count Act procedures. After reviewing the history and relevant cases, Jacob found that there is no justifiable basis to conclude that the vice president has the kind of authority to affect the outcome of the presidential election. Jacob stated that his review of the text history and frankly just common sense all confirmed that the vice president had no such power. This is just going to be his deposition again, isn't it? It's the same, yeah. Oh wait, this is 65, 66. That's his actual testimony in front of the committee, not just deposition. I have to find that. Okay, thus, Jacobs further concluded that after reviewing the history and relevant cases, there was no justifiable basis to conclude the vice president had that kind of authority to affect the outcome of the presidential election. No, I'm just reading about it. Holy fuck, you're so current, localist. I'm literally just reading about it so I can learn more about it. And you're like, hey, you're fixating on it. Fuck you. I'm reading about an important event. Yes, and crazy, unhinged, I know. Second session. This says June 9th for the second one. What? June 16th, 2022. So is it... When it says 117th Congress, second session, is this not the session thing right here? I would assume this is the second session, third, fourth session, but... I guess not. Let's use the date. Scrolling his head up, standing clear with the witness. There was no basis. Osto testified that there was no basis in constitutional laws of the United States at all for the theory espoused by Mr. Eastman. This is the same thing, so note that Vice President Pence apparently agreed with Jacobs regarding the clarity of constitutional language. As Jacob testified, he joked, "I can't wait to go to heaven and meet the framers and tell them the work you did in putting together a constitution is a work of genius. Thank you. It's divinely inspired." There's one sentence I would like to talk to you a little bit about. Jacobs further stated that his review of text history and frankly just common sense all confirmed the Vice President had no such power. President Trump's allies filed lawsuits seeking a court order directing the vice president not to count electoral votes. Trump's allies filed lawsuits seeking a court order directing Pence. Is this the Wisconsin voters v. Pence thing? Because this is the one. This is that one. I think Eastman told them not to file because if it's the one I think of, the Wisconsin voters v. Pence, because they were worried that their theory was going to get ruled on and their theory would be proven wrong, which it was ruled on and it was proven wrong before January 6th. So then they would have even less of an excuse to try to not count the vote on January 6th. To not count or to not count certain. electoral votes. One of President Trump's congressional allies, Representative Louis Gohmert, pushed a version of Eastman theory into courts. On December 27, 2020, Representative Gohmert and several of the Trump campaign's fake electors for the state of Arizona, including the Republican Party chair, Kelly Ward, filed suit against Vice President Pence into district court for the Eastern District of Texas. As Ward explained to Mark Short in a phone call, the day the suit was filed, President Trump was aware of the lawsuit and had signed off of it. We wouldn't have done that without the president telling us it was okay, she told him. Okay, Representative, this guy. Pushed a version of Eastman's theory. Or in a lawsuit filed with several of the Trump campaign's fake electors for the state of Arizona against Vice President Pence in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Texas. Wait, is this to Arizona? Yeah, Arizona Republican. Wait. Yeah, chair of the Arizona Republican Party. Arizona Republican Party chair, Kelly Ward. Signed on to the suit, or signed on to the lawsuit. Explained Trump knew about it. And that we wouldn't have done it without the president telling us it was okay. $68. Oh wait. I need they cite Mike Pence's fucking book. They couldn't just get Mike Pence to testify this one day, really? I'll have to fucking get that later. We should read the whole book. How long is it? Okay, I guess it does not like Barnes and Nobles. Oh, free audiobook.
Chapter 1. Climb Your Own Mountain.
read by the author.
Story. Among the violent backwoods.
Oh, that is Mike
brawling
Pence.
among our state's earliest settlers, whose ear was often asked after a particular nasty fight. That then transformed into Hoosier.
Okay, I'll have to download the book later. Apparently he's too fucking lazy to testify. Writes it down in this book instead. I'm pretty sure he did testify, right? Pence had to have testified. He can't refuse, can't. I guess he was. He was a private citizen, so I don't think he could refuse. Jan 6 grand jury?
News out of Washington finally happened.
Clearly, perhaps the ultimate insider's point of view. He can speak to the pressure.
He might not have, honestly. I don't know.
Earliest memories as a congressman was sitting in on the 2001 certification, and he recalled that Al Gore had gavelled down a number of objections that had been raised to Florida. And he asked me, mechanically, how does this work at the joint session? What are the rules? And I told the vice president that, in fact, I had a fairly good idea of how things work, that actually there aren't rules that govern the joint session, but what there is a provision of the Constitution that's just one sentence long, and then an Electoral Count Act that had been passed in 1887. And I told the vice president that I could put a memo together for him overnight.
What's up, Inverted Mystic? Welcome back.
Rules.
So, Mr. Jacobs, when you looked at this theory, what did you conclude?
So we concluded that what you have is a sentence in the Constitution that is inartfully drafted. But the vice president's first instinct when he heard this theory.
Everyone adds the R, man. When they say it, Dylan Burns called me non-fron. That's not as bad as Econo Boy calling me non-fan, okay? Whenever I go on, like, Sarah's panels or, like, Glenn's panels, there's people who call me non-fron. Yeah. Listen, we got people say non-fan, people say non-fam, or non-fam, like N-O-N-F-O-M, or sorry, F-A-M. Could be a dialect thing. I'm from the South. I think Sarah's from the South. I think she's called me non-front before. I think yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's not like I care. It's like non-font is a made up word. It's not like people are. You can't really mispronounce it. The word non-font is not real. Has no correct pronunciation. Believe it or not. In the suit, the plaintiffs alleged that there were competing slates of electors from 5 states. They asked the court to rule that portions of the Electoral Count Act of 1887 were unconstitutional and that the 12th Amendment contains the executive dispute resolution mechanisms for determining objections raised by members of Congress to the electors submitted by any state. Essentially, Representative Gormert was asking the court to tell the vice president that he was prohibited from following the procedures set forth in the Electoral Count Act. 69. Were you a basketball fan as a child? No, I don't really watch any sports. I don't think I never played basketball. When I was really young, I played soccer for a little bit. I played flag football for one season when I was young. I played t-ball for quite a bit of time. But I'm not really a sports guy. My parents had to force me to go to all of these. I have the Wisconsin Voters Alliance repents. Is this you? Yeah, that's me. Why? This is the first thing that comes up when you look up non-font still, right? It's my fucking Reddit. Why did they remove my post on Talk to Fuck, I forgot I did that. Gotta wait for the fucking email. I haven't heard of this case before. I need to make a page for it. And probably a better PDF out there somewhere. I really don't like the... here we go. These are the same, right? If I... Oh, never mind. That's just like the actual order. Okay, wait, hold on. What's the... There we go. This is what I'm looking for. Now these are the same, yeah, except this one is better. Okay. The lawsuit alleges that there are competing slates of electors from 5 states and challenges portions of the Electoral Count Act 1877. I'll say, and contends that portions of the Electoral Count Act of 1877 are unconstitutional, and that the 12th Amendment contains exclusive dispute for resolution mechanisms for determining an objection raised by a member of Congress to the electors submitted by any state. Essentially, Representative Gohmert was asking the court to tell Vice President Pence that he was prohibited from following the procedures set out in the ECA, much like Eastman's theory. The Gohmert plaintiffs asserted the Vice President has the exclusive authority and sole discretion to determine which electoral votes to count. Lawsuit also contends that Vice President has the exclusive and sole discretion to determine which electoral votes to count. Although Gohmert's suit was premised on the same theory Eastman advocated, Eastman did not agree with the decision to file suit. Eastman argued filing suit against the Vice President had a close to zero chance of succeeding, and that there was a very high risk that the court would issue an opinion stating Pence had no authority to reject the Biden certified ballots. As highlighted by Judge Carter, Eastman's theory was that the Vice President should take his action without asking for permission from Congress or the courts. Okay. Gohmert was premised on the same theory Eastman advocated. However, Eastman disagreed with the decision to file suit. Google, Wikipedia, ChatGPT actually made me an expert in most issues. I can debate you on any topic, anytime. Dude, Austin, want to know something funny? I was just, after I stopped streaming last night, I was hopping around, I think I raided, like, Wick, and he was having a panel with Gibbs, and then Gibbs did his, like, own panel afterwards. And Pentuple, our favorite non-fawn runner or wayer, debate runner or wayer, favorite non-fawn debate dodger, was literally using, he was doing it semi-ironically. I'm not like suggesting like he's doing this unironically. Like he was, the debate panel was like, it's about like whether we should fucking drone strike Mexican cartels, whether we should take military action against Mexican cartels. he was using Grok to to come up with arguments. Like, he went to Grok, the Twitter AI bot, and was like, what are the arguments for invading? Now, obviously, like, he has his own opinions on this already. Like, I'm not suggesting like he was clueless or anything, or like he doesn't have opinions. He was just I think he was just curious about what Grok had to say. But it's just still funny that like he accuses me of this stuff when like, or he accuses me of Googling and shit, and like I just read. Like, I just like people write stuff about topics so that people read them and have knowledge. Yeah. Since he believed. Hi. Who do you think will be the next CEO after insurance? I have no clue. Why would I know who is next in line to be the CEO for a health insurance company that I haven't heard of before yesterday? It had a close to 0 chance of succeeding, and that it was a very high risk the court would issue an opinion stating Pence had no authority to reject the Biden certified ballots. $72. You didn't read my question. I did read your question. He said, who do you think will be the next CEO after... Oh, next CEO shot. Sorry, your grammar's messed up a lot. I don't know. I don't think... I would doubt there's going to be another important CEO shot for a while. It doesn't happen very often. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Hopefully... I think they... Have they identified him yet? There were more pictures of him that came out. I don't know. Hopefully they can fucking catch him, but... I agree with it, except I put the odds of winning either in DDC or CADC closer to 0. And the risk of getting a court ruling that Pence had no authority to reject the Biden certified ballot is very high, and the danger that's SCOTUS would decline to take as well. Best we could hope for is a dismissal as non-justificable. Let's hold and think this through.
CEO of United Health.
Imagine you're a businessman absent-mindedly stumbling home from work after a long day.
United Toilets of America. Here are some words you can use to describe me.
Wait, what the fuck?
Bulletproof, golden, untouchable.
Dude, that's a nice suit.
50-year-old Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Health.
Awesome, man.
Imagine you're a businessman absent.
That I saw fucking SDL and other socialists getting mad at each other over the fucking shooting. It's funny. People are also getting mad at SDL because like SDL made like jokes about it or whatever, but he wasn't actually like condoning it. He was just like joking about it. But there were other people, because I think he also said like, yeah, we can joke about it, but like this is bad. And other people were like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's based. You gotta, the proletarian can resist in any way possible.
It was literally like fucking. You shouldn't do it, not because it's bad or anything, but because it makes us look bad, guys. Don't kill people. It makes us look unhinged. It makes us lose, guys. If it worked, yeah, knock yourself out. But it doesn't work, guys. That's why it's bad. Like, what a letdown. Like, that's so schizophrenic. My God. But hey, it's from the same guy that says not a word when like 6 hostages get shot dead because they're Jewish. Who cares? Who cares if they're Jews? No news if they're Jews.
True.
Yeah. Same guy, by the way. Well, whatever.
I just realized. Because the stream crashed, I have to restart the YouTube stream. I forgot. I'm dumb. Although,